नमस्कार नमस्कार नमस्कार। मेरा नाम है राजीव कुमार बजाज जानेहार के भी और मैं हूं इस वक्त एडवोकेट प्रदीप नाम्बियार जी के साथ। प्रदीप जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार सर, नमस्कार।
और प्रदीप जी और मैं हैं एट नेशन नाउ पर। नेशन नाउ हमेशा आपके साथ। आप सब लोगों को जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र, जय भवानी, जय शिवाजी, वंदे मातरम।
वंदे मातरम।
जय सिया राम, हर हर महादेव।
हर हर महादेव।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, सत श्री अकाल, गुड इवनिंग, शलोम, कुनिचिवा, नी हाउ, प्रदीप जी।
हमारी आंखों जाम्बो।
So Pradeep ji, the Israelis fired missiles at Iran yesterday. Some of them exploded at the city of Isfahan. We don't know what is the kind of damage that was done. I hope it stops. I hope it stops now. I mean, because nobody can afford this thing to escalate. If the Western powers who are backing Israel right now, they get behind Israel, and Iran is able to muster the support of the Chinese, the former Soviet Union in the shape of the Russian Republic, and some Muslim nations, we could have a really sticky situation on our hands. I hope it doesn't happen.
War doesn't help anybody. War
That's right.
doesn't help any situation. Escalations of tensions of this kind doesn't help anybody. Not
That's
the
right.
economy, not the people. Endless suffering, endless damage to basic
Yes.
infrastructure, which take decades to build. It's all rattled and shattered in a day. And then there's no end to this kind of menace. It goes
That's
on
right.
and on.
That's right, that's right. So I hope they're able to find some way in which they can kind of call for a cessation of hostilities and say, all right, half time, we'll begin again maybe in 10 years or something to that effect. I'm not sure if that's really going to happen. Because at the moment, tempers seem to be high, and I don't see Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, relenting right now. He's also said that he's going to remove every Palestinian from Gaza and he's going to replace them with Israeli settlers. That's what he says, because the Israelis can't forget what took place on the 7th of October 2023, and they say we'll never allow that kind of a situation to occur again. And the only way, they say, the only way that they will have security will be if there's not a single Palestinian in or around Israel.
Sir, war has a limited purpose. The limited purpose is destroying the enemies of the state within and coming back, like India did where 26/11, after 26/11, no, forget not after 26/11, Balakot and surgical strikes. A limited option. Aapne terrorists ko maar diya, the coordinates were given, you destroyed the target, came back. Now you can't go and have an all-out aggression, try to conquer a particular place and keep your forces there, because then it's an endless war. There's no full stop to it. There's no end to it, because there's going to be retaliation. You'll have to have new ways of continuously keeping yourself in that occupied territories. So it's a never-ending situation. So it's basically you hit your target, strike your target, come back, and that's the end of it. There is no, because international borders are already mostly 99% determined everywhere.
Yes.
Except in few places like Indo-China border, where you have a huge place which it seems to be undefined.
The Chinese claim, we claim, the Chinese claim.
Yes, undefined borders.
Yes. And
But
then very unfortunately what has happened is, I hope whichever is the new government which comes in all likelihood, it will probably be Mr. Modi again for the third term. I hope the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, I hope he resigns the sovereignty that we granted in 1948 to the Chinese on Tibet. That was V.K. Krishna Menon's idea, and rightfully speaking, we should resign it, we should withdraw it, and we should say, whereas you may have suzerainty over Tibet because of the fact that you are in occupation of that territory, we are now resigning our earlier proposal that you have sovereignty over it. I mean, it should be a tit for tat. They don't recognize Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, and a couple of other areas as belonging to India. I think we should reciprocate.
I think we are doing well, having stockpiles of weapons placed in the Indo-China border, which never was the case earlier, and taking the last village as the first village, and Modi working on development on the Far East areas. Now these are the changes that earlier, our army used to find it very difficult to reach the Indo-Chinese border, and now things are so at least much more easier than it was about 10 years back. So these things where communication is concerned, development is concerned, I think Prime Minister Modi and his team has done a fantastic job on all the border areas, which he says it's not our last village, it's our first village, and we'll build it as the first village.
However, Mr. Subramaniam Swamy says the Chinese have taken over 4,000 square kilometers of Indian territory ever since Mr. Modi has become Prime Minister. That's what Dr. Subramaniam
But the
Swamy
undefined
says.
borders we have taken over. I mean, it's undefined. So wherever we go, that's our place, and wherever they enter, it's
But
an
Dr.
ongoing
Subramaniam
process.
Swamy says that there was a status quo in 2014 when Mr. Modi came to power. 4,000 square kilometers of territory have been taken over by the Chinese and we haven't got it back. And here I must say that the memorial built to Major Shaitan Singh at the Nathula Pass, Rezangla Pass, not Nathula, Nathula was in 1967, at the Rezangla Pass has been demolished. And in fact, that has now been designated no man's land, where we actually used to patrol. So the army is kind of disturbed over it. In any event, that's for another
But
day.
even after the Doklam, where our soldiers had actually given them a bloody nose, we never opened our mouth. We just said this is our casualties and we kept quiet. It was Chinese. Chinese had tough time justifying the body bags and the deaths, and they had to. I mean, that's the difference. I think India अब तक कोई डिक्लेयर नहीं किया कि हम इतने घुस गए 10,000 किलोमीटर ले लिया 5,000 किलोमीटर ले लिए but the damage that we do is already on record.
The only thing is that everybody is waiting for a proper statement to come from the government of India, wherein somebody like Sonam Wangchuk also says that the Ladakhi sheep herders who used to graze their sheep in a particular area are not being allowed to do so now by the Chinese army, not the Indian army. And that needs clarification. That's all that I'm saying. We need somebody high up in government to come back and say, all right, we have a problem here, we don't have a problem here. Otherwise, why would a man like Sonam Wangchuk, who was supporting Mr. Modi till last year, suddenly say this?
Your Chinese complaining about Indians stockpiling weapons on the Indo-China border, which we never said that we did. But the report came from there that you are piling up arms on the Indo-China border, and that is against the terms that we have, bilaterals. So things are happening, we are keeping mum, we are entering, and we just keep staying mum, and probably
Dr. Subramaniam Swamy also says
he's a honorable man, as
Dr. Subramaniam
Session used to call him a very honorable man.
Dr. Subramaniam Swamy also says that there are some friends of this present government who owe a lot to China, which is the reason why that this present government is keeping quiet on Chinese incursions into our territory. That's what he said.
But the Prime
and
Minister
he's been saying it again and again. The Prime Minister said, "Koi aaya nahi, koi gaya nahi."
No, but he's always vocal about business interest, Indo-China business hona chahiye, trade and commerce.
So why does he not talk about the 4,043 square kilometers that everybody is talking about, including their own MP?
You need to have an undefined, the longest border that is undefined, the Indo-China border.
It was not undefined. It was very well defined by the Indian army and the Chinese army till the
Chinese. The entire border.
Yes, I am talking about the entire border, right from Ladakh up to Arunachal Pradesh, right till the last place where the sun first shines on India. It was very well defined by the Indian and the Chinese army till the Chinese decided to change the status quo. So, I am saying at some point of time we expect a statement, or we expect clarification, or better still, why not take a press party there, right beyond Ladakh, right where the Ladakhis say that the Chinese have entered, and show everybody that ye to apna bhai, abhi apne paas hi hai. What's the problem? Because all the journalists who have requested for passes to be able to go over there, the passes have been refused.
I think Prime Minister Modi has learned the hard way that 2002 से लेके 2013 तक, the farther he kept the journalists away, He has succeeded in his job. He has succeeded as chief minister. He has succeeded making Gujarat answering to these queries. He always believed. In fact, all the philosophies that he talked about, he said, मैं अपना काम में विश्वास करता हूँ, अपना काम ढंग से करता रहता हूँ, और वही सफलता का राज है. People still elect him.
आप हर बार ये पॉइंट दोहराते हो कि राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा को लेकर के मोदी जी की जो छवि है उसको कोई उसकी कोई उंगली नहीं पकड़ सकता. लेकिन अगर ये बार बार लांछन लग रहा है, आरोप लग रहा है कि 4000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर कम नहीं होते हैं, चाइना ने अगर हड़प लिया है हिंदुस्तान का, तो उसके ऊपर कोई स्पष्टीकरण आना चाहिए. मुझको ऐसा लगता है.
Sir, Doklam mein it was a
Sir, Doklam is part of
I'll
Bhutan.
just tell you, it was a favorable condition which our army and the government just kept mum, and we had rumblings across the border and rumblings across the world that the first time so many Chinese casualties were there. हमारे ऑफिशियल एक भी स्टेटमेंट नहीं था कि हमने इतने चाइनीज को मारा. हमारे तरफ से कोई स्टेटमेंट नहीं था कि वी हैव गिवन देम अ ब्लडी नोज. देयर वाज नथिंग ऑफ दैट. द रम्बलिंग्स केम फ्रॉम अक्रॉस द बॉर्डर एंड फ्रॉम ऑल अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड, एंड द स्मॉल फोटोग्राफ्स coming out that the body bags and अलग अलग तरीके से जिस प्रकार से उनको the final rights of the soldiers being committed to the Chinese are concerned. So the people believe Prime Minister Modi where Rashtra Suraksha is concerned. He believes that he is going to give his best where border just सेना और सीमा पर, जैसे अमित शाह बार बार कह रहे हैं कि the nation is totally safe in Prime Minister Modi's hand. So if we are in a favorable position, why you need to take the media out there and create more problems and create tensions where there's no tension at all?
So there were about 24 Indian casualties, if I'm not mistaken.
And the Chinese?
Where these boys lost their lives. I think they fell into the river. And after that, what has happened is we don't know. Because have the Chinese left that place? Is it still with us? What has happened? We don't know. Because
we came up with our casualties, but China never came
up
with their casualties.
That is because that is the Indian Army's tradition.
Yes,
the Indian Army tradition is very, very clear.
Indian Army tradition also never said that how many Chinese was,
No, why should we know? Because we didn't pick up their bodies. We don't know. Because unless and until the bodies are with us. Like for example, as far as Kargil is concerned, the bodies were with us. So therefore we were able to do a body count.
So
and say कि भाई आपकी लाशें आप लेके जाओ.
So we gave them a very honorable final send over to our soldiers who were martyred. But the Chinese couldn't do that.
The Chinese never do that. The Chinese don't do that. And the Chinese never ever come up with the.
So anybody quoting the Chinese?
No, he's not quoting the Chinese. He's quoting himself. He's not quoting to the Chinese. The Chinese have said we have not grabbed any party at all. I think Pradeep ji, you are confusing between the Galwan River clash which took place and Doklam. Doklam is in Bhutan. That is Donglang, what the Chinese call. There were no casualties there. The Indian Army was just able to push back the Chinese because the Bhutanese government was with us. What happened here is the Galwan River, which is where
the Galwan River.
Yes, which is where we lost 24 of our boys, and the Chinese casualties keep mounting. So we don't know how many actually died. According to the old Soviet, now Russian Novosti press agency, there were over 72 Chinese casualties, Chinese deaths. Casualties, we don't know how many got injured and so on. But we don't know what the state of the road over there is at the moment. But in any event, without an official clarification, we don't really know what's happening. Let's ask Ali Darwala Sahab. Darwala Sahab, namaskar.
Namaskar. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Jai Sri Ram.
What a Jai Sri Ram. Jai Sri Ram, sir. What a snazzy t-shirt. How nice. Lovely. So, sir, what do you think? First phase of elections is over.
Correct.
How is the BJP done?
Sir, बोलते ना जो विजय की लाट है वो आप लोग बहुत जल्दी देखेंगे. Let us not start celebrating. We have full 1 month to go till 13th May when it starts in Maharashtra, and till the 5th of June when the results are going to be declared. We are not going to speak like fools on the prestigious channels, but I can tell you, Abki Baar 400 Par. If you remember, Sandeep sir, Pradeep sir, the show we started 9.5, 1 year back. Abki Baar 400 Par, 9 saal bemisal. and now we are hitting the fag end of this campaigning. You can see how relentlessly our Prime Minister Devendra Fadnavis ji, Yogi Adityanath, and each and every office bearer is working relentlessly. There is no trail of money been seized by the agencies, but the Election Commission has surpassed 4,632 crores. The highest money seized was in Rajasthan. It is the most highest number of money that has been seized. अब की बार पैसे का वापर नहीं होगा. There will be a very fair electoral process that is going to be followed. And Modi ji and our party is going to win on the flagship programs, on the work that we have done, and with thumping majority. I am saying with thumping majority, we are going to come back because not that we do not have an opposition, we have fools in front of us, but the Prime Minister and his team has worked for 9 years, which the results are there. If I start reading those results out to you, our 1 hour program will fall short, sir.
No, but I would like to know from you, sir. Sir, I would like to know from you. जैसे उत्तर प्रदेश है, उत्तर प्रदेश में ठाकुर और राजपूतों ने एक महापंचायत की एक हफ्ता पहले की बात है. मतलब इट बी आइदर द 11th और द 12th, 11 या 12 तारीख को मेरठ में महापंचायत हुई, जहां पर एक रेजोल्यूशन पास किया गया over a comment made by a Gujarat minister on Rajputs, after which the said minister apologized profusely, etc. But what they said was, इस बार बीजेपी को वोट नहीं देंगे. तो सर ये ठाकुर और राजपूत वोट जो है, ये तो मतलब बीजेपी का बिल्कुल लॉयलिस्ट वोट है सर. जब बीजेपी को कोई पूछता नहीं था ठाकुर और राजपूतों ने, तो बीजेपी का झंडा लेकर के चले हैं सर पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश में. So don't you think somebody should have gone and talked to them or something like that? Because already Western UP में तो चुनाव हो गए ना आज सर.
Rajiv sir, Pradeep sir, it is really unfortunate that in a party, in such a large party where 18 crore members, 18 crore people are members of such a prestigious party, we do have fools. I'm telling you, I'm repeating my words. We do have fools who run their personal agenda. And these people really need to be tamed. A strict action has to be taken. As you said, and as we heard, that Sadhvi Pragya Singh, unke upar, when Modi ji said that she will be punished, you saw what he means.
Sir, what he said was, मैं माफ नहीं करूँगा. He didn't say she will be punished. उन्होंने कहा मैं माफ नहीं करूँगा. जो गांधी जी के बारे में उन्होंने बोला ना, माफ नहीं करूँगा. And he did not give her a ticket again. But hats off to him.
That's what I'm saying.
मानना पड़ेगा.
That's what I'm saying.
जी.
Over here, what damage has been done because of this Gujarat sitting candidate is irreparable. But I can assure you on this, if I take Pradeep sir, I would like to connect to the sentiments of the Rajput and the Thakur परिवार. बीजेपी में ऐसा कोई भी विचारधारा नहीं है. वो लोग इतने ज्यादा प्रिय है हमारे को, वो लोग इतने ज्यादा प्रिय है, और हमारा टॉर्च बेरर अगर आप कहते हैं तो ये समाज है. तो ऐसे बुज़दिलों के, कायरों के स्टेटमेंट्स के ऊपर इन्होंने पूर्ण तरीके से दुर्लक्ष्य करना चाहिए. और जो एम, जो झंडा और जो मैंडेट मेरा प्राइम मिनिस्टर लेके चला है, उसको सपोर्ट करना चाहिए, ना कि बल्कि ऐसे मूर्ख स्टुपिडिटी को सपोर्ट नहीं करना चाहिए.
You know, राहुल गांधी जी का कहना है कि लोकतंत्र को बचाने का इलेक्शन है. दिस इज इलेक्शन टू सेव डेमोक्रेसी. 10 साल से देश के आत्मा को मोदी जी ने जख्म पहुंचाया है, जख्म दिया है. उस जख्म पर लोकतंत्र का मरहम लगाकर लोकतंत्र को बचाना है. आपने जख्म दिया है दारोगा साहब, आप जी और मोदी साहब ने 10 साल इस सरकार के हृदय को, इस सरकार के आत्मा को. इट्स अ टाइम टू फ्री दिस कंट्री. It's a time to save democracy. So this election, as per Rahul Gandhi, is to save the democracy, and Rahul Gandhi believes that democracy is going to win.
Pradeep sir, answering to your question and very pragmatic answer, राहुल गांधी ने कहा क्या ये डेमोक्रेसी, ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन खतरे में है. मैं एक बात उनको पूछता हूँ, जो किताब, जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लिखा गया, द ओरिजिनल मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट, द ओरिजिनल बुक, if you see each and every page has a drawing of the Ramayana and the Mahabharata on that. उसके ऊपर जिसकी ये लेके वचन लेके जो मैनिफेस्टो बनाया इन्होंने, क्या इसको हमें बचाना है, उसके ऊपर जो ओरिजिनल मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट के ऊपर रामायण और महाभारत, जो सनातन धर्म का आह्वान, जो अपमान इनके सहयोगी ने किया, उसके बारे में राहुल गांधी जी एकदम चुप है। तो ये हिंदू धर्म जो है, ये यहाँ पे जो पॉपुलेशन है, रिगार्डलेस ऑफ देयर कास्ट एंड क्रीड, हैव नॉट अटर्ड अ वर्ड एंड आस्क्ड राहुल गांधी अ क्वेश्चन। अब ऐसे लोगों के साथ खंधे को खंधा लगा के बैठे हैं जो कहते हैं कि हम जब पावर में आएंगे, सत्ता में आएंगे, इस सनातन धर्म, ये जो एक वायरस है, हम इसको मिटा कर रहेंगे। तो जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का फैब्रिक है, वो हर पन्ने के ऊपर रामायण का मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट और पिक्चर्स एंड ड्राइंग्स है, उसी को ये लोग ने चैलेंज किया। तो ऐसे लोगों के जबान को आप भरोसा कैसा रख सकते? राहुल गांधी जी तो उसके बारे में कुछ भी नहीं कहते।
सर, उसमें बादशाह अकबर भी है और टीपू सुल्तान भी है। रामायण से शुरू होता है और टीपू सुल्तान भी है उसमें और बादशाह अकबर भी है सर।
करेक्ट।
ऐसा नहीं है कि वो बाकी सब नहीं है, वो लोग भी हैं। ये बात बिल्कुल ठीक है कि उसके पहले पन्ने पे, सबसे पहले पन्ने पे श्री राम, लक्ष्मण, सीता जी और हनुमान जी की तस्वीर है। एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, ऐसी बात नहीं है। लेकिन सर आप मुझे ये बताइए, ये हमारे पुरुषोत्तम रूपाला साहब जो हैं, मंत्री हैं सर, दिल्ली में मंत्री हैं, उनको क्या जरूरत पड़ गई? मैं फिर उसके ऊपर मैं वापस आ रहा हूँ। लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, देयर इज आई एम नॉट ट्राइंग टू प्रेज यू बिकॉज you are right here in front of us. You are such a responsible person. Even when you don't agree with something, you say, hey, listen, this is my personal view and I'm doing it like this. And you are very, very sensitive to what may go against the BJP or what may go against what the Prime Minister is planning to do. तो पुरुषोत्तम रूपाला साहब मंत्री हैं सर, दिल्ली में मंत्री हैं, राजकोट से। उनको क्या जरूरत पड़ गई ये बोलने की कि राजपूतों ने तो अपनी बेटियां दे दी मुगलों के पास और हम सवाई मानसिंह को तो मानते नहीं, वो तो हवाई मानसिंह है। भैया क्या मतलब हुआ सर? आई मीन कम ऑन।
Sir, it was really embarrassing, the statement. I'm telling you what happened in that point in time, what must be the situation. We all know what happened. Instead of इसके ऊपर सराहना करके, ये जो unfortunate incidents वो वक्त में जो हुए थे, उसको आप उसके ऊपर you try to not cover up, you like do not put salt in a wound. And what happened at that point in time, what may be the circumstances at this 100, 200, 300 years down the line, we do not know. But making a mockery of the compulsion, what was there at that point in time, is totally, we need to support the wound at that point in time that particular community must have gone through, and not make mockery and you troll such a community. So that community is really the torch bearers. They have worked. आज़ादी में जब उन्होंने जान अपना खून निछावर किया, उसके बारे में क्यों नहीं आपने किया? जो एक मिस्टेक हुआ था, वो मिस्टेक को आप भूलने नहीं देते। यही तो चला आता है सर, ये सेपरेशन, ये पार्टीशन, ये जो जातिवाद, ये सर इसको आप लोग छोड़ते नहीं है। जब तक आप ये सब चीज को छोड़ेंगे नहीं, देश विकसित और उन्नति की तरफ कैसा बढ़ेगा?
मेरा पूछने का तात्पर्य सिर्फ एक ही है सर कि आपको लगता नहीं कि जहाँ तक बीजेपी का सवाल है, सबसे बड़ी बात है, मैं मानता हूँ मोदी जी वापस आ रहे हैं, लेकिन जैसे नवनीत राणा जी ने अभी अभी कहा कि सिर्फ मोदी जी पर निर्भर मत रहिए, आपको बूथ पर जाकर के ये देखना है कि आपके जितने वोटर हैं जाकर के वोट तो करें। अरे मोदी जी थोड़े लाएंगे बूथ के ऊपर वोटर को, वो तो वर्कर्स को काम करना पड़ेगा ना। तो मेरा ये कहना है कि जस्ट बिकॉज यू हैव मोदी डज नॉट मीन दैट विक्ट्री इज अश्योर्ड, यू हैव टू वर्क फॉर इट। आपको लगता नहीं है कि द बीजेपी, बिकॉज देयर आर 6 more phases left, 7 फेज में इलेक्शन है सर, देयर आर हाउ मेनी फेजेस? 7 phases, प्रदीप जी?
7 phases, 6 more.
6 more phases are left. Don't you think the BJP should not allow themselves to be lulled into this kind of a complacency that they've already won?
Correct.
What do you think?
Correct.
Sir.
Correct. Rajesh sir, Pradeep sir, you must be seeing as on the broadcast that each day we are taking programs, we are connecting to all the communities across. My specialization is in the minority in Pune. We are traveling across, we are having this meeting. And it is not the end. I even say it is the beginning. And as Navneet Rana ma'am said, she said very perfectly right. And we realize this not now. We have been preparing last 1 year. There have been booth अध्यक्ष who have been prepared. हर आदमी के ऊपर 30 लोगों की जिम्मेदारी दी है। वो लोग जाके उनको कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं, उनका रजिस्ट्रेशन है नहीं है देख रहे हैं, और उतना बारकाई से काम यहाँ पे महाराष्ट्र प्रदेश चंद्रशेखर बावनकुळे जी की अध्यक्षता में काम हो रहा है। करेक्ट, शी हैज again reminded us we need to take it very seriously. Now we need to stop our campaigning on the media and on the platforms and this banner and all that, and we need to get down to the booth, reach to the houses of people, whether they are there, they are registered or no, their name is appearing or no, or systematically you see that lists are disappeared. And like last time, there was a certain complaint that came that all the BJP voters from the upmarket in our area, their names had disappeared. So all these miscreants do not happen. There be a very fair voting. Everybody gets a chance, and the most powerful leader emerges. That is the beauty of democracy. That is the real essence and the beauty of what is happening in our country.
You know, Darwala Sahib, Rahul Gandhi has highlighted the problems of unemployment in his own way. Now he has said, I went to a railway station. Rahul Gandhi ji went to a railway station. He found a porter there, a coolie who was a civil engineer. A civil engineer, he's a porter. He says, I asked the civil engineer, what are you doing? He says, I am doing the job of a coolie because I am not having a job. I spent lakhs of money giving a private college, whatever fees is required. I became a civil engineer and today I am carrying bags because there is no employment. Now, Rahul Gandhi believes that this is not Rahul Gandhi's India, this is not Congress's India. Narendra Modi, he says, has created barrier, दरार बनाया है जॉब मार्केट और इंडियन यूथ के बीच में बड़ा दरार मोदी जी ने पैदा किया है और ओनली कांग्रेस पहली नौकरी पक्की है अलग अलग एम्प्लॉयमेंट स्कीम से इस देश के अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट को ठीक कर सकता है. Now how do you see that? It's a very significant statement with an example that he has given, Darwala sir. It is going to, how it's going to affect the minds of the people? It is a civil engineer coolie.
Sir, to be very honest, that there is work at the railway station. I really appreciate, I take pride in saying that a civil engineer, rather than sitting, taking loan and cribbing, or even rather not having a job, taking some drastic step, he has gone to the railway station, he is picking up the luggages, he is earning a livelihood. The fact there is so much of work happening at the railway station, he's gone over there. But it is very unfortunate, ironic that a civil engineer needs to do a job. I wish and pray he gets appropriate appointment for his job. But coming back as to there were lots of jobs and they became unemployed over 9 years, it's really very funny. Why did this happen? I would say you had 50, 60 years. I have to say each and every one of us should have been employed by now. So what happened? Like you are asking so many questions. You were there for 60 years. You had the power in your hand. Why did the country come to such a situation? We are working. I am saying miracles have not happened. People are all not employed. We need to work. We are working in it. And Honorable Modi ji is trying his level best for creating employment. At the same time, he stresses, since he comes from a business community, the Gujarati community from Gujarat, he stresses on self-employment. Self-employment, no matter what, however small it is, has its own pride. You should not be ashamed in doing any kind of job, any menial kind of job. But this is not done. I feel that everyone, as per their education and as per their aspiration, they should be befittingly rewarded. Really, we need to work on it.
Darwala sahib,
Yes,
I don't think that civil engineer, if indeed he is a civil engineer, we have to take Rahul Gandhi's word for it. Rahul Gandhi said he's a civil engineer.
I would not say that.
And he's carrying bags of people on his head, which is okay, which is great. And as you said, at least he's not sitting at home and moping.
Yeah.
He's not saying, hey, listen, I don't have any job. So at least he's working as a porter. But I don't think he's going to be very happy with what you said or what I'm saying. But your own former MP, Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, he says, if you shift the base year for the growth rate of the GDP from what you have right now, which is 2020, to let's say 2016 or 2014, if you take the base year as 2014, then the Indian economic growth will be somewhere just about 1.5%, which is actually less than what it was during the time when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister, which was 3.5%, which used to be called the Hindu rate of growth. He says that this is jugglery with figures that the government is doing, because this rate of growth is not really true. That's what he said. And he was your former MP. So
I'll tell you one thing, Subramaniam Swamiji really is a remarkable human being. We take what he says with a pinch of salt.
Only
He
a
says
pinch of
something
salt?
in the morning.
No, I thought it would be at least a bag full. No.
Not at all, sir. I'll tell you why. Because I have facts to support what I'm going to tell you, sir.
Yes.
And Subramanian Swamiji, as we know, the whimsical nature, he may praise Modi in the evening and he may abuse Modi ji in the night. So we really do not take it very seriously. Like, let's not get into the nitty-gritties. Let me support it with my facts and figures. So the FDI in our country is at all-time high. The 9 years of this government that we have seen, our fixed FDI in this country has surpassed 950 million investments of foreign direct investments. Out of this, 532 crores has come from 162 countries. This he is not mentioned about this, sir. And in 2022 was the all-time high, 83.5%.
But the RBI figures say, the Reserve Bank of India figures, I've got them right here in front of me. This is a press release by the Reserve Bank of India, released in January this year. It says that the FDI has declined 38.4% year on year to $15.41 billion in the first 10 months of this financial year. It's declined by 38.4%. This is what the Reserve Bank of India says, sir. And this is quoted by Business Standard.
Correct.
Sir,
But this you may be talking of the last 9 months where we are.
I am talking of
election.
23-24.
23, 24, the
Yes,
last
sir.
figure that I gave you, a rise of 83.5%. If there's a decrease, if there's a decline of say 15 or 16% as you are saying, we are still on the growth rate of 50% increase in foreign direct investment. And okay, sir, whatever it is, even if there is a decline, you should appreciate that this investment has come in 61 sectors in our country. And in these 61 sectors, sir, it has not only come in these 9 metropolitans like Bombay, Pune, Calcutta, Bangalore. It has come in 31 states and 2 union territories. Like there has been a massive and a very uniform investment across the nation. Let it be anywhere. And if you see the growth engine of India in the last 10 years has been the all-time high. The GDP which we started in the first 3 years was 1 trillion. In second quarter it was 3 trillion, and now we have surpassed 4 trillion in our GDP. This no one is going to mention about it, sir. But till what we tell you about
Sir,
this
where
10
did you
to
get that
15%,
figure from, that the GDP has surpassed $4 trillion?
Sir, the 5 trillion is what we are expecting. Now, my country from the fragile 10, we have come in the top 5, sir. And how has this come? This has come with our 4 trillion economy, sir. This is what I'm trying to tell you over here, sir.
Gee.
And we need to appreciate. First, if you see the scatter, it has come very uniformly in this 10 years put together, sir.
You know, Darwala Sahab, Priyanka Gandhi has been time again telling us that you talk about Hindutva, but ask the Congress, ask Priyanka Gandhi what we are doing for the East section segments of the society. बोले वुमन के लिए हम जो नारी शक्ति वंदन अधिनियम मोदी साहब ने सिर्फ बिल लेके आए, वो 10 साल के बाद इंप्लीमेंट होने वाला है. But we promise that when we come to power, we are going to implement it immediately. That is what Priyanka Gandhi said. Now, we 50% of the women, 50% with the central jobs, central government का jobs, we are going to reserve 50% for women. That is what we promised to the women. और हमारी तरफ से नारी सशक्तिकरण की ओर से हम कदम उठा रहे हैं. नारी सशक्ति मां लक्ष्मी योजना 1 लाख रुपया एक महिला को 8,500 rupees per month. This is revolutionary. Priyanka Gandhi says this is revolutionary. It has never happened in India and we are going to do it. Darwala साहब, ये महिला सशक्तिकरण के बातें आप सिर्फ बातें करते हो, but Congress is saying they are going to implement it. What do you think about is going to be implemented after 10 years? Darwala साहब.
Sir, it is so unfortunate. I had written a small statement on this. This 1 lakh rupees direct transfer, the moment Congress comes to power, I have asked this government to explain to us this, I think it is the 23% population for the women who are below poverty line, who will be getting this money, and the eldest woman of that family will be getting 1 lakh transferred in an account every year, regardless of how many ever the family members are. So where are they going to fund it from? Is our economy, the taxpayers, like you and me who are paying tax, and जो हिसाब से हमारा विश्वास और भरोसा ये सरकार पे बड़ा है, टैक्स पेयर्स आगे आकर बढ़ चढ़ के टैक्स भर रहे हैं। सर आप टैक्स पेयर्स का मनी ऐसा लेकर अगर आप ऐसा नहीं क्या जैसा रेवड़ी जैसा बांटने लगेंगे तो सर ये देश का क्या होने जा रहा है सर? दिस इज रियली वेरी
Do you think people are going to think like that, Darwala sir? Do you think people are going to provide it? No. Just hear me out.
As to where is my money going to go?
No, just hear me out. What I'm trying to say is, the first part is people have to believe the Congress. All right? Will they believe that the Congress will actually do it? That is one. Part two, where I don't even know where these schemes come from. Let me tell you very frankly, because doing it at a state level is different than doing it at a national level. They have promised it at a national level. Now, if you do it at a national level, which means you are looking at somewhere around 1 lakh crores a year or above that. Now,
23% of the women population.
So where is the money going to come from? But do you think people are going to believe that, Darwala sir?
So I'll tell you one thing: that the height of desperation for Rahul Gandhi ji and the manifesto the Indie group has come up with. You can see, sir, if you see the 6-point program for the minority that they have come up with, it's like pushing them back into the Stone Age, into the Black Days. Like, what they have said is really, really very funny as to freedom of whatever they need to do. Muslim personal law will be activated. And it's really very funny. What is Congress trying to do? Do you think the minority community is going to accept where we are going, where all the Arab nations has discarded this draconian laws? Rahul Gandhi ji is trying to implement and saying that I am going to safeguard this.
So Mr. Modi is right. So Mr. Modi is right in saying that the Congress manifesto bears the stamp of the Muslim League.
Correct. It is exactly the same page they have picked up and they have pasted on the 6 points program that they have done over here. They have not even considered the sentiments of a population, a larger population, who will be very, very disturbed when you say you have the freedom of right to eat what you want. They did not even consider, because उन्होंने ये defeat मान ली है कि हिंदू सनातन धर्म और नॉन मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन कांग्रेस को वोट नहीं देने वाला है। ये जो खेल है इनका, ये जो 23, 28, 30% का जो माइनॉरिटी वोट के ऊपर जो ये खेल करने जा रहे हैं, ये इतना डेंजर खेल है सर, ये देश को स्टोन एज और ब्लैक एज में डालेगा। इट इज हाई टाइम दिस पीपल खदेड़ के इनको हम लोग बाहर निकालते और इंडिया को 2047 जो मोदी जी का सपना है, विकसित भारत, where the international opinion about my country is at the highest, we take them and we give the country into safe hands, not into destructive people like Rahul Gandhi and Congress. I am really
but Rahul Gandhi is already complaining. He says राजा की आत्मा ईवीएम में है, राजा की आत्मा ईवीएम में है। वीवीपैट का जो सुझाव था कांग्रेस ने दिया था कि that वीवीपैट immediately after the pressing the button the receipt should be given to the voter and the voter will go and put in some separate box and that particular separate box has to be 100% counted. That will bring more transparency in the electoral process. राहुल गांधी जी का आरोप है अब भी कि राजा की आत्मा ईवीएम में है। The charge is serious. दारोगा साहब।
Sir, the Supreme Court of India, the most prestigious, unbiased authority in this country, has said that a lot of hard work and lot of mind has been applied into EVM. We should not tamper, do not change the process of EVM. सर ईवीएम के बारे में मैं एक बात पूछता हूँ आपको, आप ऑलरेडी ईवीएम को जब दोष देना शुरू करते हो तो समझ लेना चाहिए कि आपकी हार नक्की है और पक्की है। राजस्थान में आपने सत्ता लाई थी सर, आपने कर्नाटका में सत्ता लाई थी, आप में जीते ईवीएम पे आप
We can't hear Mr. Daruwala at all. Can somebody do something, please? Can somebody do something about it? Daruwala sahab, we can't hear you. So Pradeep ji, Pradeep ji, the fact remains that as far as the BJP is concerned, it is not as if the BJP is very unfair in criticizing the Congress manifesto. If they have promised return to the entire personal law of the Muslims. Depends on which personal law. Which one? There are about 4 or 5 schools of thought in Islam. So which one? So is the Congress proposing that Sharia law would be applied to Muslims in India? Is that what they're saying?
That is one fear, and the other is Article 370.
Gee.
The Congress is not openly talking about it, but unke ghatak dal hai. India Alliance ke ghatak dal, many of them are very vocal that abrogation is going to be cancelled and we are going to reinforce Article 370.
They can't.
They can't. No, we know they can't, but itne openly is prakar se kehna. Now that is when what we talk, playing around with the democratic fiber of the constitution. Now, if the majority in the parliament has done something that was needed for the country, and then if some Ghatak Dal openly in a democratic system says that we are going to bring the old system back, now that is a threat that we talk about.
Yes,
you talk
absolutely.
about BJP's threat where you're saying that you want to change the constitution. What are you doing? And what is the Congress doing? If the alliance, if it's your alliance partner, you have to take a stand.
That's right.
Whether it's going to happen or not. You still want Article 370 on?
Yes.
That is what you want?
No,
these are the fundamental questions that you need to answer. You only say that हम संविधान, सोनिया गांधी जी, संविधान आप बदलने वाले हो, बड़ा षड्यंत्र चल रहा है, मगर यहाँ खुलेआम षड्यंत्र चल रहा है.
लेकिन प्रदीप जी सबसे ज्यादा संविधान में बदलाव तो कांग्रेस लेके आई है ना.
Yes, बिल्कुल.
108 के करीब अमेंडमेंट जो है वो कांग्रेस लेकर के आई है.
Exactly, sir.
तो
Exactly.
मतलब how can you blame the BJP for that?
No.
And there is I'm so sorry for bringing this up. There is a bit of a confusion here. We've got one part which says India is a $3.97 trillion economy, and Forbes says that we have crossed 4 trillion. So we are at $4.12 trillion
So you
at the
believe-
moment already. So you can always believe whosoever you want to believe.
Yes, exactly, sir.
So it's just a matter of a couple of $1 billion
Very
here, there, or anywhere. But one thing is for sure, that by August, September, India will be the 4th largest economy.
Sir,
इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं.
आज प्राइम मिनिस्टर जिस प्रकार से कह रहे थे कि we as I am talking to you, we are exporting the BrahMos missiles and it's going to Philippines.
Yes, it
Now,
is.
what a statement that is. We are exporting weapons. We are exporting the high-tech missile systems. We are doing this, and we never thought of this earlier, and it's happening now. So, if it begins with Philippines, it's going to be
It's already
spread across.
begun.
It's already begun. In fact, the
Philippines-
first lot is already gone there.
Philippines, Vietnam, and I think there is one Latin American country
Exactly, sir.
who's already a buyer for our BrahMos missile.
Yes.
So which is
we
fantastic.
are exporting.
And by the way, the Russians want an
Absolutely.
import date because this was developed in collaboration with the Russians.
Yes, sir.
But the Russian manufacturing facility seems to have gone kaput. Because do remember, what is BrahMos? BrahMos is named after 2 rivers, the Brahmaputra and the Moskva.
Yes.
The Moskva is the river which flows in Moscow.
Exactly.
And you know what the Brahmaputra is.
Bilkul, bilkul.
So therefore, BrahMos missile.
Yes.
Now the Russians want the BrahMos missiles made in India,
And-
which is great.
With the war scene across the world, I think
Yes.
the BrahMos missile is going to be in a huge demand. where
And
India is concerned.
and by the way, the Ukrainians want it, and the
You know,
Russians want it.
Russians want it. The probably Iran will require it.
But- but
probably
but very
Israel will
unfortunate-
require it.
But very unfortunately, we can't give it to the Ukrainians because it was developed with the help of the Russians.
Exactly.
So we'll have to sell it to the Russians. I think we'll have to let Mr. Darwala go. Mr. Darwala, thank you very much. All the very best to you. Let's go straight across to Mr. Dhananjay Junarkar of the Congress Party. Dhananjay Junarkar, sahab, namaskar.